Okay, today we'll be talking about anxiety and worry. So, what is worry? Worry is anticipating and preparing for potential negative outcomes in the future. So, you have a situation and you don't know how it's going to turn out, so naturally, you start worrying. And it can be broken down into two sections: negative things that can happen and their consequences, and problem solving and mental attempts with anticipating the negative outcomes. So it is really planning and preparing for the future. So let's take a scenario. You apply to a job, you go to the interview, and once you finish with the interview, you start to worry because you need this job, you need a source of income, and you want this to turn out well. So that would be an example of worrying. So what could happen is they can be what if statements, such as the one I said, and I won't get this job. What if I lose my money in this investment? It could be another one. And the thing about worries is that worries are always negative. They could be the worst case scenario and deal with negative outcomes, even when they're completely normal situations and not necessarily the worst case scenario, but you're interpreting it as the worst case scenario. And this could be anxiety provoking, and you just need to think about what triggers your worry. So what triggers worry? The unknown is primarily what triggers worry. Like I said, it could be the unpredictable, the novel, the ambiguous, something uncertain that may happen, and that usually makes you worry about the negative consequences. And we go back again to trying to problem solve these worries and try to make what if statements. So when is worry a problem? The thing about worry is it's a completely normal part of life. And when it starts to become a problem is when it becomes excessive or interferes with your daily life. And that could take into many situations and examples, but it usually happens during stressful periods of times or during life-changing events. So it's when it's difficult to control and interferes with your daily life, that's when it starts to become a problem. So what do you worry about? So right here I have a graphic. Let me just pull it up. It's things that you could check off, and it becomes a problem when you check off three or more. So let me go to it. So do you worry on most days? If that's a yes, then check it off. I worry even when everything is okay. An example would be worrying about your health when there's nothing wrong. Let's check it off again if it applies to you. I worry too much about small problems. My worry is excessive. In my opinion, I worry more than I should. Or other people tell me that I worry too much. Lastly, my worry is hard to control. Once I start worrying, it's hard to stop, even if I try. So with this, it's sort of an assessment to check your status of worrying and determining whether it's something you should look into, something you should treat. So again, if you check off three or more, then yes, it is a problem and it needs to be addressed. I'll talk about this more in my next video, but this is the thing for today.